So today we're gonna make one of my favorite breakfast sandwiches ever, and it's amazing. I'm gonna fry some onion and mushrooms in a pan, and we're gonna season that with some salt, pepper, and a bit of thyme. Now with the rest of the ingredients, it's pretty straightforward. You wanna fry your bacon until it's nice and crispy. Toast up some bread. I used French bread and I fried it in some butter. And we also fried some egg and flipped it over, put some cheddar cheese on top so it's nice and melty. Now to assemble, I just spooned in some homemade chipotle sauce in both pieces of bread, added my mushroom and onion, my bacon, and my egg and cheese. And I always put hot sauce on everything because it makes it 10 times better. And I served it with some lemonade iced tea. It's delicious.
Today, I made Vista Con Papas. We use these for our tacos de canasta. I start off by tenderizing the meat, cutting it in small squares, and seasoning it with salt. I set aside and started working on my salsa. I roasted tomato, onion, garlic, and chile serrano. I put all that in the blender and added Mexican oregano, salt, cilantro, and water. I want this to be kind of chunky, so I only blend it for a few seconds. I put some olive oil on my clay pans, which I only use in special occasions. I season it with cumin, pepper, minced garlic, and I let it sit for about 10 minutes. Then I added chopped onions and beef bouillon. The trick here is to let the meat cook for at least 20 minutes, and then I added the salsa. I also added potatoes and my Anaheim Cheetos, which I already had peeled, and I let it cook off for an additional 20 to 30 minutes so it can be very, very soft.
This is the best way to cook rice. This is Persian rice. What you need is 1 cup of long grain rice. Wash it until the water runs clear and then soak it for about 30 minutes. Boil your rice in some salted water until it's cooked through about 3/4 of the way. Strain your rice and then set it aside. To make the tahdig, the crispy bottom, you need some clarified butter, turmeric, salt, and pepper. You can put whatever seasoning you want. Normally you would use saffron, and then you start layering the rice on top of it. I started adding a little bit of dill and some parsley. This is called sabzi polo. You don't have to add it if you don't want to. I also added a little bit of garlic powder as well. You can add whatever seasonings you want, and go ahead and create holes in this so steam can pop up. Put a wet paper towel or cloth on top of your lid like this and cook it for 10 minutes or until it's done. Now flip this over onto your plate and listen. So crispy and so delicious.
Add your taco seasoned beef to your tortilla, and then you're going to add some cheese and roll your burrito like this. And then you're going to place those in a greased pan and pour your enchilada sauce over that, and then pour cheese over that, and bake at 375 degrees for about 15 minutes. I like to serve it over yellow rice and add more cheese and some freshly chopped lettuce and lots of sour cream. There you go.
In today's episode, my mother-in-law teaching me Iraqi Jewish dishes. We're doing plow bjij. It's chicken rice with little bits of pasta. We're going to start with 2 cups of tomato puree, 1 tablespoon of curry powder. Give it a mix. We're going to add in some boiling water, as well as 2 tablespoons of awesome chicken consomme, my mother-in-law's favorite ingredient ever. We're going to throw that into the rice cooker, as well as half a cup of vegetable oil and some salt. We're going to toast up some vermicelli noodles and 2 tablespoons of butter till it's nice and golden. Then we're throwing in soaked basmati into the rice cooker, bring it to a simmer, and let's add in that pasta. Give it a good stir until it's nice and combined. Then we're gonna let that rice cooker do its thing. Let it go through a cycle and release to get the fluffiest rice ever. It's so beautifully spiced, and the best part is you get that golden bottom crust. This recipe's so good. Let's blow this up for my mother.
All right, here we go, guys. Another super simple side dish. So we got some Yukon Golds, some red potatoes, slice them in half. Cut up an onion, a little butter, a little olive oil, using a combination of steak shake from All Queued Up and bovine from Hottie Toddy. Throw it in the oven, 350 degrees for about 30.
Yes, people, let's make some cornflakes sriracha tenders. Get some cornflakes and crush them with the rolling pin. Squeeze in some sriracha sauce and slice a chicken booby. Cover it in sriracha and cornflakes. Put them on a tray, Van Gogh some sriracha and put it in the oven to cook. Then you got some spicy, crunchy chicken tenders, G. Can you lot even handle the spice?
I love this roasted barbecue tofu. I cut 1 block of extra firm tofu into 12 slabs. Brush with olive oil, sprinkle with salt, and into the oven for 20-25 minutes. Flip the tofu and brush the top side with barbecue sauce. Now back into the oven for another 15. Brush the other side with barbecue sauce. 1 more short stint in the oven, and a final coating of sauce.
So my friend at work told me instead of a Chick-fil-A pizza, we should make a Cane's pizza. So here's the dough. We're putting Cane sauce all over it, and then we're spreading that out and putting the chicken and french fries on top. A little bit of cheese. We're popping that in the oven and drizzling it with some Cane sauce when it comes out.
French onion pizza. The base is a cup of cream cheese and a cup of my French onion soup recipe. I spread that on my dough, then I top it with mozzarella cheese and then shredded Gruyere cheese. My pizza's baked for like 18 to 20 minutes, so I threw some onion rings on there.
I just made these jumbo chicken nuggets with homemade barbecue sauce. I don't even need to tell you how good they were. Firstly, you can't make peng food without a peng knife. I'm putting 2 chicken breasts in the blender with a tiny bit of celery and garlic and give it a blitz. 2 teaspoons lemon juice, 3 tablespoons water and 3 tablespoons oil, and then 1 teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of black pepper. Americans have this thing called MSG, but I ain't trying to die soon, so I'm gonna add a little bit of soy sauce. And then 3 tablespoons cornstarch, give it a blitz and put it in the freezer for 10 minutes. You don't have to though. For the first coat, you can either use breadcrumbs or all-purpose flour, but I'm gonna use both, and I'm gonna add Parmigiano. Bruh, I need a degree in this shit. I mean, cornmeal, corn flour, cornstarch. I can't even keep track of all my sightings. Haha, psych, you thought people actually like me? For the batter, I'm using Evian because we bougie out here in West London. Okay, the batter's meant to be thick, but don't do what I did. Use corn flour, not cornmeal. Now lightly coat and put it on a rack. Guys, I made a heart-shaped one for my crush. I hope she likes it. Bring your oil to 175 degrees, dip it in the batter, and then fry until golden brown. Here's the one I made for my crush. She said if it's not a Birkin, she don't want it. Maybe if I add leaves, it will be healthy. Bone apple teeth?
Today I'm going to show you how to make the most amazing crispy and juicy chicken cutlets. Start out with pounded out chicken breast seasoned with kosher salt and black pepper, flour seasoned with kosher salt and black pepper, beaten eggs, panko breadcrumbs mixed with Parmesan cheese, heat up canola oil in a cast iron pan, start dredging the chicken in the flour, then in the egg mixture, then in the panko. Fry up in the cast iron pan on both sides till they're nice and brown.
Parmesan cups filled with chicken Caesar salad. So take small handfuls of your shredded Parm cheese on parchment paper. You bake it at 350 for 5 minutes. Then you carefully spatula it on. I use muffin tins that are turned upside down and sprayed down. While those are cooling, now let's make our chicken Caesar salad. I just used some rotisserie chicken, brown it up, add it to some romaine lettuce, add some Caesar dressing, a little bit of cracked pepper. Now we're ready to fill these bowls. Add your chicken Caesar salad to the bowls and voila.
Alright y'all, I had to do this video really fast because it's a lot of stuff in a short amount of time. So I have chicken that I seasoned with Italian seasoning, garlic powder, onion powder, salt and pepper, cooked it almost all the way, and I heated up that riced broccoli in the microwave and just mixed that in with the chicken. Set that aside, and in the same pan you cooked the chicken and the broccoli in, you're going to add some heavy cream, some butter, some of this squeezable Velveeta cheese or the block of Velveeta and cut it up, some sour cream, some Parmesan cheese, and you're going to let that all kind of come together, season with a little salt and pepper, then add like a handful of mild cheddar cheese to this as well to really drive home that cheddar flavor. And then your sauce is done. So I just cooked egg noodles according to package instructions. That's our chicken broccoli mixture. We're putting that in, adding our cheese sauce, mixing it together, putting it in a casserole pan that I've sprayed, and topping it with more cheddar cheese and crispy French fried onions. Bake at 350 for like 25 to 30 minutes, and then
Hi everyone, today we're making Sopa de Puta, also known as Soup of the Whore. This soup got its name because you're supposed to be out being a puta, partying all day, and 10 minutes before your man comes home, you make him this soup, and it looks and tastes like you've been slaving at the stove all day when really the soup took you like 5 to 10 minutes to make. So we're going to start off with sauteing some onions and browning them and putting some garlic in. And once that's brown, you're going to add your tomatoes. I cut my pasta in half, y lo duro un poco. You want a little toasty, then I add 2 bottles of water. These are the spices that I use. You can screenshot them if you'd like. And you just keep adding on spices until your ancestors tell you to stop. I forgot to put this one into the picture, the caldo de res. And you want to add some garlic salt and cayenne pepper for the kick. I added 2 eggs. You only put the egg whites, not the egg yolk. Add some queso fresco, cilantro, y limon, and you're good.
So you guys, today I'm going to share with you how I make my tuna salad, and it's this one ingredient that makes it better. Alright, so we're going to make a very small amount. So 2 cans of albacore tuna, half an onion. You can use 1 whole onion if you like onions a lot. 1 celery stalk, and we are going to dice this. a very small amount of lemon juice and salt and pepper to taste. So I have strained and squeezed out all the juice. All right, so now we're gonna dice our celery. And now let's dice half of our onion. Just this much. Salt and pepper to taste. Mayo. My secret ingredient is, where's your sister sauce?
I'm craving sushi. I love making these shrimp stacks. Ingredients. Combine some cooked brown rice with some rice vinegar and mix it all together. Mix diced cucumbers with some chives, then mash up an avocado. Take a 1 cup measuring cup and spray it with a little olive oil. Start layering your ingredients. Start with the cucumber, then mashed avocado. Add the diced shrimp, then the cooked brown rice. I love Trader Joe's frozen brown rice for this. Use the back of a spoon to pat everything down and then invert it. Moment of truth. It should come up easily just like this. Take some soy sauce or tamari if you're gluten-free and pour it over the top. Then top that with a little furikake. I like to eat and shake, or you could just use some sesame seeds. Then make a spicy mayo with a little mayo and sriracha and put that on top. So perfect for a sushi craving, and they come together so.
Tonight for dinner, I tried something completely new with my salmon. I made some salmon cakes, and let me tell you, these turned out amazing, and I will totally be making them again. I started off with 4 salmon fillets. These are 6 ounces, and I seasoned them and threw them in the oven at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes. I took them out and shred them, gave my dogs the salmon skin. They seriously love it. And then I threw all the salmon in a large mixing bowl with 4 eggs whisked, a cup of pork rind crumbs, a cup of Parmesan, a couple tablespoons of mayonnaise, Old Bay, minced garlic, and chives to taste. I gave them a good mix and started forming up some patties. I made 7 large patties with mine, but you can make a bunch of smaller ones if you wanted. And then all I did was give them a good sear on each side and some super hot avocado oil and top them with some lemon juice, and they were so